of feminism? What are some of the stereotypes out there that you've heard?
Just that women are not strong enough, so they have less ability to do jobs.
So this idea of
Like
biological strength
Yeah.
being inferior to men, and somehow that perpetuating an idea of weakness in other areas of society. Good point. What else?
Sarah, I kind of had an idea that people that were feminists didn't ever want to get like married or anything like that. Like didn't want to date men, I guess.
Okay, so this was kind of your view of, if you heard the word feminism, these were the words and the associations and ideologies that you had with that term.
Yeah.
Okay. Did the reading change that?
Yeah.
Okay, how did it change it?
Well, it like started off with how they kind of debunked all the different ideas like that by saying a lot of them are married and like men.
Yeah. I'm a feminist. I'm married. So it is different.
Yeah.
You have all these different layers of feminism, and that's what we're going to talk about today. There are different waves. We'll talk about the historical 1, 2, 3, the 3 waves of feminism. There's also people that actually have, in all intents and purposes, they have all of the criteria that would make you a feminist, but they do not want to be called a feminist because some of the negative connotations that are embedded within the term. Okay, so we'll talk about that issue as well. So I'm glad that you were able to kind of see that there are a lot of different layers and levels to it, but it's also good to know where we're starting at. What are some of the stereotypes in society? What negative ideas and ideologies are embedded within that term? Okay, because that's one of the key things that feminist theorists have to do. We have to start with what term are we utilizing? What's embedded in this term? What's the nomenclature attached to this term, feminism? Okay, so anybody else have any revelations while they were reading? Drake.
I thought it was interesting in the beginning how they talked about like the traditional views of women, and even though like not like feminist or like whatever, but like seeing how like culturally it's changed, like even just like that they're talking about how like women were viewed as like not able to do anything. It was just kind of funny. I was like reading just like I don't know how people did think like so extreme like that. I just thought that was interesting.
That's a good point. We have to actually put ourselves back into the context of kind of where feminism started from. We have to go back to the kind of the late 1700s and in the 19th century and think about what was society like then and what maybe spurred this really what I would like to call revolution, because it's changing and disrupting. It's changing and disrupting the social capital of society, the norms and traditions. What is the working definition that we have for social capital and cultural capital? Remember those terms we talked about a few classes ago when we were talking about Pierre Bourdieu and his elaboration on Marxist theory that's going beyond just economy or economic terms? What is social capital? What's a working definition?
Kind of like a hierarchy gaining from a certain social standing or a certain group that you're part of, or yeah, so, and then similar with cultural capital, just a certain, strength that you gain or hierarchy that you get from being part of a certain culture, or yeah, just sort of go hand in hand.
Right. Power and hierarchy is embedded in these terms. So it's a certain type of power, exactly right, Grayson, that you have either socially or culturally that gives you a certain stance in society. Okay? So if we go back to what Drake was saying about how women were viewed at that time period, back in the 19th century, they were a subaltern class. And we don't talk about complete equality today. There's still a ways to go. But if we compare the female view and role today with the 19th century, vastly different. Because a lot of this revolutionary activity within feminist theory, feminist activism, that disrupted and altered and changed forever the social and cultural capital.